well,
Okay.
not first encounter each other. We went to the same school, and she was 2 grades ahead of me.
Okay.
So we didn't pay attention to each other. But her brother, Dan David, was in the class above me, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in between us.
But we both smoked. And so at recess, we would go out in the bushes and hide to have our mid-morning cigarette. And so we got to know each other pretty well. And we're both the same kind of person. I mean, we're both interested in intellectual things. We talk about the same type of things. And after high school, we both went into the Navy just by chance. And we met in Los Angeles and had some fun together there. And then I ended up going to Hawaii and then to Guam over in the South Pacific and North Pacific. But he went to
Okinawa.
And we met there.
Oh, wow.
So the Lord had us tagged as friends, whether we, it was inevitable because he had it pre-programmed. So after that, we went to college together and had some courses in the same thing and did homework together. We'd go to his house to do the homework because he was closer to the schools and stuff. I guess he might have come to our house too sometimes.
I was an older sister.
Yeah.
He was my kid brother's friend.
And
We didn't pay much attention to each other.
And she was a
at
year and a
all.
half older than me.
Yeah.
So she was out of my category. From what I saw of her, she was above my class. She was a queen, and I was just a guy that went into the bushes to smoke with her brother. You know. So in college together, we started working together. We went to the same. I don't remember exactly, but
We weren't in any.
But
If
no,
we were in any course together, it was
it was after we were engaged.
yeah.
I had a girlfriend that had been in my class, and my girlfriend and I went to this.
His girlfriend was a friend of mine,
Yeah,
and when I went down.
to the shore.
When I was working down at Atlantic City for the summer to try to make some money waitressing, Carol came down to see me. And so when my brother came down to see me and Oliver came down to see Carol, we kind of we'd go out in the evening together to have fun and
Double
get
date.
ice cream or go. And they won a jitterbug contest in one of the places where we went for waffles or something, and so we got to know each other, but we weren't looking at each other as potential boy or girlfriend. You know, it was because he was with her and I was with my brother.
Right, right.
Carol and I broke up at that point. And we had promised to meet, the four of us, back in Bernathen at a certain time. But Carol and
Carol went home earlier than I did. Oh, she had come down to work for the whole summer too, hadn't she?
I guess so.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. So, but she went back to get ready for school a week earlier, or maybe 2 weeks earlier than I did. And we had said, okay, well, when you come home, we'll all meet together. The last time we were meeting at the shore. So we had this date for the four of us to meet at the clubhouse. And so I came home and I went down to the clubhouse that night. And there I was, and there was Oliver. So then I said, well, where are the others? And so then he had to tell me he'd broken up with Carol. So he decided he was going to try me. So, so that was our first date. And at the end of it, he said, can I see you again tomorrow night? I said, sure. So we met the next night, and the next night, and the next night, and how many did I say? Anyway, it was for 7 nights. And then he proposed.
I had the opportunity to think about what a conjugal partner is and what kind of a person I want to live with for the rest of eternity. And I realized that what I had done before was not, I hadn't thought of that. I just, well, it was mostly, here's the girl that I know that I can get along with. And that was about as far as I went as far as choice is concerned. But then I realized I had to use my reason to decide what kind of a person I want to have as a wife and a mother of my children and all that. When I was talking with my brother-in-law, George Field, he was a psychologist and a sociologist. He was a PhD. And we were very good friends. He taught me hypnotism and things like that. I mean, we were very close together. I was his subject for his practicing hypnotism, stuff like that. And when I told him about my non-marital status, and he said, what about Rachel? That didn't occur to me. She was on a throne, and I mean, she was brilliant, older than me, but after he said that, I really said to myself, yeah, I couldn't get Rachel out of my mind because that was who I needed, you know.
I knew that he was thinking along those lines because of the things that he wanted to talk about. And we hadn't messed around at all with unimportant stuff. What do you want to do in heaven? What part of heaven would you like to be part of? And do you want to have a family? Have children? And I could tell that he was getting more and more, the questions were getting more and more to that point. And a couple of evenings before, I thought, well, I wonder if he's going to ask me tonight. And so I was thinking about the same. I wasn't about to say yes immediately because I wanted to be sure. I had already been read through Conjugal Love at least 3 times because we had it twice in school, once in Latin, we translated it, and in religion we had a course on it. But I had already read it before those too, because that was high school. and I had gotten a copy of it when I graduated from 8th grade. So I knew that there was a procedure you're supposed to go through. Go home, consult your parents, but he was in a hurry.
Really?
Well, a lot of the young men when they got through with the war, were looking for somebody to settle down with,
Right.
and they didn't want to waste time.
Right.
So I said, no, I have to go home and consult my mother. So he said, well, I'll meet you tomorrow night. You can tell me then.
Wow.
So I went home and I consulted my mother, and she said, well, I really think you ought to wait
Right.
longer. You really get to know each other better. And I considered, and I thought, well, I think I know him well enough that I could manage to get along with him for as long as we're in this world. If it still isn't right, well, we can get along. So the next night I said yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you, Rachel.